Hi everyone, my name is Mimina. I currently work in Google UK in London. I moved here just in the beginning of October this year, but my overall Google journey started a bit more than 5 years ago in Poland. This is where I initially started in the Google Ads team. But yeah, as you can see, my journey is still evolving, and at the moment I'm employed by Google, by YouTube, and I'm currently based in London. So in YouTube Trust and Safety, our mission is to make the platform safe for its users and for our partners. So basically, in other words, I can say that during my day-to-day job at work, I watch bad videos so you don't have to. So basically we're making sure that the YouTube platform is free from abusive or inappropriate content that shouldn't be there or that doesn't really comply with our policies. So this is the most exciting thing I've ever done so far at Google. So Google is actually very famous for its unique culture. I think you may have heard something very interesting about Google offices in general. So a few things that actually come to my mind. For example, Google employees, they do have access to their offices 24/7. And actually the badge that you have, which kind of is a key to the office, works at any Google office. So it's a very cool feature. And there's a bit of a tradition around Googlers to visit a local office when you're traveling, and it's very fun way to see different offices because they all are different in their designs, in the way they're made. So in Google, it's actually very fun that each office kind of represents the local culture of the city or of the country where it's based. Every office is unique in every way, and you don't need a special kind of approval to get in. You just swipe your badge and you're in, which is kind of becomes your second home away from home, if you know what I mean. So it's a very nice touch to like any Google employee. Additionally, from the things that I can call out, like a lot of people, like the first question they also ask is the food actually free, or do you have all those like benefits and perks? So it is true, like I think it's the main thing that company wants to do with that is to make sure that you don't have to worry about cooking or like bringing your food or running some like errands. So those things are actually provided in the office grounds to make sure that you're not really worried about that, and you just can concentrate and focus on your work. So this is the main reason for that. And I can say personally, when the offices closed back during pandemic time and we all were forced to work from home, it was actually a big difference in our mindset, because even for me, for example, I was not used to making sure to allocate time and go and make my lunch. So that was a new kind of routine that all of us had to build in. And like some days I simply forgot to defrost that chicken or, do something. And yeah, I only remembered about that very late. So yeah, it's the things like that that kind of frees your mind to just focus on your work, focus on your projects, and I think it's a very positive mindset. Another kind of difference from other regular kind of jobs that I had prior to Google is the fact that you shouldn't be, like, you're not tied to your desk. So you can work from anywhere that is comfortable for you, as long as you do your job and you deliver on your project. No one will ever like question or ask why aren't you in your workplace, or why are you working from a cafe or like cafeteria. Like really, that doesn't matter as long as you do your work successfully. And yeah, another good benefit of coming to the office is that I would say almost every office is equipped with a gym. Some offices have a swimming pool, so it's a very good way to de-stress either like before or after work, or maybe during the work if you don't have during the day, if you don't have some kind of meeting in between, you can go and join either like a group class, or you can just go to the gym by yourself and, you know, get that like stress out of you before you go back to your desk and your meetings. So yeah, it's also something that a lot of people really value the Google offices for. So another actually interesting thing about the Google culture is the management style in general, which I found very different at the beginning when I just started. I think before I started my job at Google, I was kind of used to the fact that your manager is the person who would tell you to do things in a way that they're always the ones to assign the task, and, you know, they are the ones that will that can end your project if it's not a priority and things like that. But actually here, I remember when I first joined, it was a bit of a different approach, since your manager is more of a coach and more of a mentor. So they can give you suggestions, they will tell you what's their kind of vision, or like what is the best way to proceed according to them. But it still doesn't mean that, you know, you should completely disregard what you wanted to do in the first place and kind of follow their path. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that compared to like a traditional firm or like a traditional company, the final say isn't necessarily like from your manager. So you can continue doing the things that you're passionate about if you truly believe that they're necessary, or they will bring value to someone in the company or to someone of our users. So maybe a bit more about my hiring experience and the way I actually got to Google. So there is a team at Google which is called university programs. So what they do is they try and look for talent among students to see if there are like any potential Googlers out there, and they do visits to different universities in different countries. And I was actually studying back in ADA University in 2015 when 3 representatives of this team decided to come to the university with an informative presentation about like Google culture, any kind of opportunities for students, for like full-time jobs, and I attended that presentation. And in addition to that, there was an email sent saying that if you're interested to apply to a role at Google, like make sure to leave your resume, and, you know, we will go through it and we'll let you know. So I did that, obviously, as like everyone else in the group, and I received an email back saying that you know, you kind of got the initial screening and we would like to interview you right at the like university grounds. So it's kind of like a unique story in a way, because I had my first interview right in my alma mater, and I don't know anyone else who actually did that. So that was my first interview that I passed successfully. And then I was scheduled like additional interviews. I think in total I passed around 7 before I got the job. But you know, not to scare you, like not everyone actually goes through so many interviews. Once I passed all of the interviews, I was accepted to Google, and the position that I was applying for, it was based in Poland, in Wrocław. So basically, that I knew that from the beginning, that because there is no Google office in Azerbaijan, I would be urged to move if I get the position. And it was kind of a bittersweet moment, because I was very happy and very excited to start the new journey, but at the same time, I back like up to that moment, I haven't lived abroad, haven't lived on my own, and it was just a bit scary at the same time. So yeah, it was like I was feeling a whole different spectrum of emotions back at the time. But yeah, as you can see, all turned out well, and now I'm actually very excited to be like moving to different countries and experiencing that different lifestyle that every country possesses. So the general process to apply and become a part of Google, if this is what you want, is actually to go to the website. So you go to google.com, there is a careers section, and there is basically a list of every kind of open position at the moment. So it includes the role itself, like responsibilities, also the location. So as you can see on the website, some of the roles are open for kind of like particular specific offices. So make sure to check it out before you apply. And at the same time, you know, I think like the general kind of advice that I would give is like look for something that would be genuinely interesting for you and generally would fit your profile. So let's say if you are someone in, you know, international relations and you see a position in finance, and, you know, you don't know anything about finance, probably not the best idea to apply there just because the role is open in Google. So yeah, the once you apply, there will be a few steps in the recruitment process. So first, a recruiter will reach out for a brief chat to see what you're looking for, if this is the right position for you. And then there will be about 3 interviews that in general are scheduled. Now again, depending on the type of role you're applying for, so if it's an engineering, you may be requested to pass a coding interview, for example, but if it's like a role in some other department, you would skip that step. The ground rule is first you get a call from a recruiter. Basically, this is not considered an interview, more like a chat. And then after that, you get scheduled your first interview. If you pass that, you go on to the next stage, and so on and so forth. But yeah, in general, it shouldn't be more than 3 or 4 interviews. So one thing I really enjoy about working at Google and like even in my current team is the fact that every single person is coming from a different country with a different background. And this is something that is so unique. Like, I have seen so many people meeting me in the first place and saying, oh, you know, you're the first person from Azerbaijan that I met. And this is so cool, like being able to bring your culture, bring your bring that awareness about your country and that like cultural heritage that you have to a like global place like Google. So I think like keep that in mind whenever you are you know, going abroad or traveling or like starting with a new job in a company. Like try to like never forget where you're coming from, like those traditions, those type of ways that you were brought up. It definitely will be different from everyone else, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong way, or you know, it's kind of something that you should be shy about. In contrast, like I think like everyone, even during like the recruitment process, like people when they're having an interview, they're not really they are obviously interested in your skills and in your ability to perform that work that you're applying for, but at the same time they're looking to see that like individuality in you, to see what kind of perspective you can bring as a person. So never forget about that, and kind of try to bring your whole self, try to be honest during the interviews, basically be yourself. Don't try to pretend and be someone else who you don't really are. I think that's kind of the best advice that I could give to anyone. This is an advice that I would give to anyone really, to never kind of self-doubt your own intuition, your own thoughts, your own opinions, thinking that someone else would know better, just because they were in this company for longer, or maybe they studied in a great university. It all are those like don't let those thoughts block your mind from, you know, developing or learning more or asking questions. This is definitely something that would be blocking you, and you shouldn't really do that. Like, there are no boundaries, and yeah, try to be open to the world, and you will definitely see it like giving back to you.